Today, we're going to teach you how to turn a losing Betfair trading strategy into a winning one. And it's a very easy thing to do. It's something that you will be able to do yourself. Everything I'm about to tell you is statistical, mathematical facts. Okay, guys, this is not my opinion, and this process works. So, step one, very easily, we can all do this. Create a bad strategy. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is create a losing Betfair strategy, obviously, if we're going to turn a loser into a winner. However, a lot of you will be sitting there thinking, well, this is music to my ears. I have a losing strategy. Maybe you have plenty. It turns out you might not be very good at Betfair trading, or so you think. And so you already have a losing strategy, and really that you are the people that I'm trying to reach today. We're ready. Let's go to step two. I put my thing down, flip it and reverse it. Does anyone remember that song? What a tune. How do you turn your losing strategy into a winning one? You reverse or flip the strategy. Okay, let me explain. If your strategy is for laying, you would back the selection instead. And if your strategy is a backing strategy, you will lay the selection instead. Why would this work? Well, if you're losing money hand over fist on a strategy, as many of you will often tell me you are, then surely if you do the opposite, you will make money. That's pretty basic maths, right? So I'm going to give you one quick caveat before we get into some examples. Here's the key point. You need to have a strategy that is losing significant money, okay? So let's say you've got a strategy and you've been testing it for a long time. You've got 1,000 results and you've been using £10 stakes and you've lost £100. You might feel like, oh, this is a bad strategy. Okay, it's not making any money and it isn't a good strategy by any means. But you've only lost £100 to £10 stakes. That's only a 10-point loss in 1,000 results, which is quite a lot of results. I don't think a strategy like this would be one that you would consider flipping and reversing because it's not bad enough, okay? And you might say to me, well, Martin, what is bad enough? I'm going to give you a good example here, okay? Let's say, I've used 1,000 results again, but I'm £500 down. Now that is significant. You're 50 points down in 1,000 bets. That's high. The reality is if you flip that strategy, there's every chance you would have made money doing the opposite. And so you can say pretty safely that this is a good strategy to flip. It's clearly very unprofitable. But what are the exact steps for making it profitable? Because it's not quite as just simple as, well, flip it and go. Okay? So I'm going to give you a real life example. There's a strategy I've been testing and it's called Super Lay the Draw. Kind of ironic because it's actually a really bad lay the draw strategy. I've been testing it since May, so I've got nearly a year's worth of data here. And as you can see, it's actually minus £923 to £10 stakes. It is 92 points down in about 8-9 months, right? It's had 832 selections, so it's not like we've hardly had any selections. I mean, this isn't a solid amount of data. If we reverse this strategy, we would have made money. And we should make money if we reverse it now. It clearly shows a trend that it's a bad strategy, okay? So that's simple enough. I think we get that process. Now we can just back the draw, right? This is a lay the strategy that was doing badly. Remember, if it's a lay strategy, we need to back it. So we would back the draw. And here's an example of how to back a draw on the Betfair exchange. Now, step 3, and this is really cool, is the next question you want to ask yourself is, can I make this strategy even worse? Right? Now, what you want to do is go to the Betfair Trading Community software, look at your strategy, look at your filters, and go, how could I make this strategy worse? Is there anything I could do that will make this loss even higher? It sounds really weird, right? But remember, we're flipping this strategy. We're going to reverse what we're originally doing. So for now, we want it to be as bad as it can be. Now, originally, this specific example I've given is a really good example because I can do this. This strategy had a league filter on it. It was designed to find the best leagues to lay the draw. Well, ironically, that didn't work out too well. But what that means is that poorly performing leagues were actually removed originally. So, in theory, if we add in those leagues, if we add those leagues back in, and they're poor performing for lay the draw, well, that's what we want. We don't want ones that are good for lay the draw because we're going to be backing the draw, okay? Now, sorry this is a little bit confusing, but just try and think of it as a perspective of we want to get it really bad so that when we flip it, it's really good. Now, I have actually done this, okay? I have taken the leagues and put them all back in, and on this new tweak, I have 192 selections. I've only been testing it a month, but the results have been awful. Like, truly dreadful. £272 down to £10 stakes. That's already a 27-point loss in 1 month. If we kept that up for a year, we'd be looking at, 300 points profit our way if we go the other way. This is a much worse, on average per month, loss than the original strategy, and that's important. We have effectively, in theory, made this strategy worse. Now, I would like more data, don't get me wrong, I want more data. I always want more data. 192 selections isn't huge. By the time we get to 5, 6, 7, 800, it won't take too long. The pace this is going, it'll only take another 3 or so months. Then we are going to have a really clear, definitive answer to whether this strategy is worse, but it seems like it is. And what else could we look for? Well, you could look at the odds ranges. Is there a particular odds range that doesn't do as badly or makes money? Because remember, if we're going to flip it, we don't want an odds range that's making money. We want to remove that because at the moment we're trying to make this strategy as bad as it can be. So the case in point here is I have an example where the odds from 1.01 to 3.5 are actually £45 up. They actually make money. So that odds range is not one we're going to want to use when we flip the strategy, okay? So you can look at odds. The other thing you can look at is leagues. If there's a clear pattern, let's say, you're trading and you notice that Belgium's 30 points down. I know I love to use this example. Well, you might remove Belgium from that equation. But here's something I will say about tweaking your strategies. Only ever tweak when your leagues and your odds show a really clear pattern, okay? So I'm not saying, you've got 5 results from Spain and Spain has lost 1 point. That's not really that bad. That's not bad enough where I'd remove it, okay? A, you haven't got enough data. 5 results is not many at all, is it? And B, being 1 point down, again, it's not a horrific result. But say you've got 100 results in the leagues, 20 points down. I wouldn't particularly have a problem if you removed it at that point, for example. But you want a significant amount of data when you are looking to remove things, because otherwise you're just removing it on a bit of a whim. Okay, step 4. This is the bit you've probably all been waiting for. It's time to bet. We now have viable strategy where we're going to do the opposite of what was originally intended. It's time to turn this loser into a winner. I think this strategy is now at the point where you could go for small stakes backing the draw. So I recommend very small stakes to start off with, just to see how it goes. And after a while of success, you can start to raise them. There is no shame in starting live trading with small stakes. Okay, so that's really all there is to it. You have just turned a losing strategy into a winner. Now, before I go on to the last step, I do have a blog post that I've written on this. It's absolutely fantastic. Guys, I highly recommend that you go and read it, you go and look at it, you use it almost as a way of doing this if you want to do it step by step. If you want that blog post, then just say the word winner. Let's be positive. I want to be a winner. We want to be winners. Let's go. Let's make some money trading on Betfair. Okay, step 5. Do it again. Do it again. You might be sitting there going, well, what next? I've just done this. I've got to create another strategy. Look, chances are when you create a strategy, it will lose. Okay? If it loses and it loses badly, you're in a good position to flip it and make some money, right? But if it does well, on the flip side, if you test the strategy and it does really well, brilliant, you've got a winning strategy. If you test one that does really badly, brilliant, you can reverse it and make some money. These are the steps needed to turn a loser into a winner. I have just literally told you the process. So in short, let's sum it up in one sentence. Flip it, test it, and then when you're ready, invest in it. Good luck, guys. I hope you have a great week. Again, if you want me to send that blog post, really important read, if you're serious about Betfair trading, then say the word winner. Let's go. Good luck, guys. Hope you make some money this week trading on Betfair.